And as you saw, the Gosnell case is now making it to the big screen in the film, Gosnell, the trial of America's biggest serial killer. It opens this coming Friday, October 12th, and joining us now is director of the film and one of its stars, Nick Searcy. Nick, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me on, John.
My pleasure. So, Nick, when was this movie conceived? You know, as a former law enforcement guy, I was riveted by this case. I thought it was one of the most egregious cases I'd ever read about. The fact pattern was absolutely sickening. So when was the movie conceived? How did you become involved as both director and a star? I believe you play Mr. Cohen. He's the defense attorney. He's Gosnell's defense attorney, correct?
Correct. I believe that this movie was conceived. Phelan McAleer, one of the producers, happened to be in Philadelphia while the trial was going on, and he popped into the trial and just came home and said, "Dude, we got to tell the story. It's just so crazy, and it's so something that Hollywood would never ever do." So.
Yeah. Was there pushback, Nick, when it was time to get funding, it was time to recruit? Because you have some recognizable actors in this film, Dean Cain and others. Was there pushback from the liberal elite in Hollywood on making this film, on casting this film?
Well, not really, because they went around them. I mean, they didn't try to get money from people in Hollywood. They raised the money on Indiegogo with the Indiegogo campaign that raised $2.3 million. And so after you have your own money in Hollywood, if you if you're ready to pay people to act, they're ready to do it. So you know, we didn't have a lot of pushback after they were aware that we had a film that was a go. Although it was tough getting a distributor. I mean, that was the hardest part of the whole struggle, was trying to find somebody that would actually release the film after we'd finished it.
And what has the reaction been thus far in terms of, you know, starting it with the title, Gosnell, you're immediately sort of polarizing, because there are a lot of people that are, you know, abortion advocates to the death. They are never going to let up on that issue, and they want to sweep this whole story under the rug. I don't have to tell you, Nick Searcy, you and I have talked about this many, many times. Just having been sort of, you know, close enough to Hollywood and knowing you like I do, I'm just wondering what the reaction has been, especially considering the title, Gosnell.
Well, we've had quite a few screenings around the country, and, you know, the reaction has been overwhelmingly positive. And at 2 of the screenings, each case, there was a pro-choice person in the audience who raised their hand and said, you know, I just want to say I'm pro-choice, and I think this film is very important, and I think it's a great movie, and I think everybody should see it. We really set out to make a film that was not preaching to the choir, that was not just a movie that one side of the argument could see. And I really always conceived of the movie as, strangely enough, I thought it was something that would create some common ground, because I think people on either side of the issue can all agree that what this man was doing was horrible, and we cannot allow this to happen again.
Yeah, I think right-minded Americans, Nick, can see the difference, even if they are pro-choice, can see the difference between that policy position and what literally amounted to murder, to homicide under the penal law, which is what this guy did. He's serving life without parole. He was facing the death penalty. But my question is, do you still get pushback? Are you being attacked by the fringe left that believes what this guy was doing was right? Is there anyone out there that's an advocate for Kermit Gosnell?
I haven't seen anyone. I mean, there's a funny thing that happened, though, during some of the protests this week. A prankster kind of came to those protests with some posters that said "Free Gosnell" and kind of handed it out to the anti-Kavanaugh people. And they didn't really know what the sign meant, so they just went, "Oh, this is cool," and they started holding up the "Free Gosnell" signs.
So he was just trolling them.
Yeah, he was just trolling them. They don't know. I have not spoken to one person who, like, is a pro-Gosnell person. I'll say that.
I wouldn't imagine you would. Nick, we're running out of time. How many theaters are you opening in?
We're opening in over 600 theaters on Friday, October 12th. The premiere in LA is tonight. I'm hoping I survive it, that there aren't any protesters, but we'll see. You know, there may be somebody with signs there that say, Nick Searcy drank beer in high school or something.
I know you as Nick Searcy. Let's see, was it International Film and Television Magnet, or what was your title again?
It's Peabody Award-winning international film and television
That's
star.
the one
That's
on
it.
Twitter. That's it, Nick.
Nick, we always appreciate you. Thank you for this film and your hard work on it, and thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, great to see you, Nick.
I can't wait for people to see it. Thanks for having me.
You got it.